So, welcome everyone. Today is August 15, and I'm going to have a kind of around 1 hour workshop about playfulness. I'm very happy that I have you here, and this workshop is one of the ones that is directly related to my professional experience and also my years of work with children. They are the things that I have gathered from everywhere based on my experience. I found them very, very essential and important. And I hope that you will have a wonderful workshop as well. You will have a kind of wonderful workshop experience as well. Today's shirt is very different from the regular days. It is playful, and why not? So we move forward about the most important terms that you need to know about playfulness or non-playfulness. So why and how we say something is playful or is not playful. Okay, Anita Bundy is the name of the person who has suggested this model of playfulness, and based on that, she suggested some important test which is called test of playfulness. It's a kind of test that is widely used among occupational therapists, mostly in United States. And this theory or model is mentioning that to understand the future of playfulness, we need to be aware about three main factors. These three main factors are that if some activity that we are observing, if the activity that we are observing has a source of internal motivation or external. What does it mean? It means that if a person, if a child does something because she or he himself wants to do that, because she loves doing that or she feels joyfulness in doing that, it is called internal motivation. But if a person does some task for sake of, let's say, others' appreciation, for sake of getting a good mark from the teacher, for sake of gaining some reputation from the peers when playing. Okay? If any of them happens, then for that specific part, I think that Anita Bandi wouldn't agree that we call those activity as playful. Okay? So I sincerely request everyone please to mute if they haven't yet met it. So, so if the activity has internal source of motivation, in fact, that activity is closer to playfulness. Yeah. The other thing which is very important is intrinsic control. Well, how? Once a child decides when to start the task, where to go, what to do, when to finish it, when to switch from some activity to another, when to control the elements of the activity, okay? It is more intrinsic. There is more intrinsic control over that. But if during the work there is a teacher or caregiver who is going to say, okay, oops, make it correct, oops, it's wrong, oops, fix it, okay, good job, it's good, go on, keep it up, no, no, don't give up, continue, continue. They are all extrinsic control that are lessening the playfulness. Yeah? And the third factor is about freedom. Freedom from where? Freedom from who? Freedom from reality. Or we call it as a suspension of reality. Suspension of reality means that how much we can do imaginary things. Are we obligated to do the thing that seems logical, rational, reasonable? plausible, understandable by others? Are we obligated to perform the thing based on some real expectation that others have from us? Or instead, we are the ones that freely choose how much we can think of fantasy, how much we can cross the borders of reality with fantasy about the thing. Just imagine that in the meantime that I'm talking right now, all of a sudden, I decide to take another role as a person who is a little silly. While not being silly about that, while not being weird, what's wrong? What's going to happen later? Sorry. You might have a bad judgment about me. You might not trust me any longer as a therapist. No, as you know, I'm a registered therapist and I am very concerned about my credit as a therapist. So you should trust me and I am going to take a good role about you in front of you to show myself credible so that you can trust and you can trust me, hand your child to me, and I can help you in diverse ways. You know, I know many theories and models, so I can help your child, and I'm experienced, so I know what to do. Look at my degree, look at my experience. Everyone is acknowledging my experience. Forget them. Forget them for today. I love Jim Carrey. Yeah, I love Shel Silverstein. I love Mr. Bean. I love the ones who forget the judgment for a few seconds and try to see ridiculous. No matter how much they feel, they might be judged as stupid. Yeah? It's the career that they have chosen to use a sense of humor. And as you see, many of them are very rich. Many of them are much more prestigious than us. Many of them have higher achievement than what we have. So you see, once you put your heart in something, and once you do not care about people's judgment, you might feel suspension from reality or freedom from structure, or you might gain intrinsic control over what you do and how to do and when to do and where to do. And you might decide to have internal motivation of doing things. Why do you do that? Because I loved it. Why did you do this instead of this? Because I enjoy doing that. That's the thing. So I'm mixing what I work, how I work with the way I play. So once these three elements or factors in playfulness are heavier, then what happens, we can mention that we are more closer to playfulness. Otherwise, we are experiencing non-playful situation when, like, a person who is supposed to do a task or homework or an assignment. Am I saying that doing assignment is stupid? I'm not saying. Am I saying doing assignment is not necessary for the life of child, for the future life of child? For sake of God, just look at the past workshop I have done, I have had here. I have mentioned about several duties of a child, obligations, realities. We have to stick to them as well. We have to maintain a fair balance between reality and structure, freedom and disappointment, and obligations and rules and policies. But today is the day that we are talking about playfulness. So if you are going to talk and consider playfulness topics, again, we review internal motivation, intrinsic control, and freedom or suspension from reality. Suspension of reality. So we go forward. We move forward and then we are seeing, let me check something here is mentioned. Fine. So we move forward. It's about TOP. And as I mentioned, there is the fourth element that is not mentioned in the seesaw, but it is taking part in the whole theory somehow. Okay? That thing is about framing. Framing if the child or the person is able to get, understand, percept, perceive the social cues within a play transaction or not. For example, as a matter of taking or getting clue from something. Just imagine that I have sat here and a child comes to me and do a little kiss to me, like kind of touch touch my face and run away. If I look at the child like that and say, don't do that, okay? So, in fact, it's a serious signal that don't do that, don't do it. I'm angry. I'm worried about something. I'm not in the mood. So, let's get back again, flashback again. So, I'm here. The child comes and touch my face and go. I say, what happened? Who did it? Did you know? So if I do so, for sure, the child who is good at framing realizes that this don't do means a contrast meaning. Kind of, let's do it again. It's gonna be fun. It's time to keep playing. Keep manipulating our partner again. So, no, 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 do that again. And then child does it again. Ouch! Again, you need me. No, you should go back, go back. Okay, and again, the child keeps doing it again. So it's about social cues that once we give it to child, if the child understands it or not, most of the time, for example, children with autism or the ones who are very, very weak or poor at theory of mind, once I say don't do that in a ridiculous way, once I say that, okay, I expect you no, in a very funny way, I say don't do that to encourage the child to come forward. But the child take it a serious way. They take it literally. Say, okay, I'm past. I said don't do that. So I want to. So and then they leave the play. They leave the play because they haven't read the social cue inside in that. So for that child, maybe I can verbally encourage that, okay, let's play the game. You touch my face. I say, oh, wow, what happened? Again, you do it again. I touch my face. So I should explain it explicitly to that child so that the child can better understand about the framing and the social cues. So these four elements are taking part and are playing important roles in playfulness, right? So just before moving forward, what I want to do is that as a kind of freshener, I'm going to ask you to watch a part of a part of Mr. Bean's video that I have prepared for you right now. So let's start with this wonderful video of Mr. Bean first to see why I love this man. So I think now you can see this. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure if you can hear it at all. I play it, but just if in case you can't hear it, let me check. Let me make sure that you are gonna hear it as well. There should not be a matter of hearing. So let's go. So that was the first video I wanted to show you. Um, so I realized that you couldn't hear the sound. Later on, you can search Mr. Bean Airport, and it's a very funny part of the video. But what I feel is that actually, you didn't miss a very big point once it is mute because uh, no sound was important there. But um, you can feel the suspension of reality that when Mr. Bean was looking at the cog in the police pocket, he felt that what if I have a dog in my own pocket as well at the same time? What happened? I'm gonna be very powerful then. So let's start. I do have a real dog in my pocket, so let's start. Oh, he saw that. So and then the things that later on happened. So um, we move forward with the PowerPoint, and then we get back to the slides again. We get back to another piece of Mr. Bean again, but again, PowerPoint about playfulness. We get back to it. If I be very, if I be too much ridiculous, I don't know what happens later after this workshop. Maybe I will be prone to bankruptcy. No one is going to trust me anymore. Oh my God, what a fun thing is going to happen. So, so let's move forward. So here, there is a kind of noise in my sound after I change some. Okay, so I think it's fixed. Fine. Um, so let's let's talk about another scale, which is called children's playfulness scale. It is a very important scale as well. Okay, so children's playfulness scale has five domains, five main domains. Okay, we have previously talked about test of playfulness, intrinsic motivation, framing, locus of control, suspension of reality. But now we are talking about playfulness domain, and this test is going to explain what features are observable or visible when we are looking at a child during play to consider if the child is playful or not. Because you see, it is mentioned during play, but if a child is playful or not. I have seen lost many of children that are playing, but they are not playful. You see? And also, I know myself as a person who rarely plays nowadays, but never forget playfulness. So, if there are different terms. So, first thing is about physical spontaneity. Spontaneity of physical is that the person who are more fidgety or moving, okay, and during the activity are showing coordinated movement, like kind of as if they're dancing, using hands, moving, rolling over, prefer to be active rather than quiet play. They are the things that are about physical spontaneity. Just imagine that if you ask a child to come to you, and the child, instead of walking towards you in a regular, typical, expected, normal way, the child decides to hop, hop, hop toward you, or the child decides to gallop toward you, or the child decides to walk in a sidewalk, or like a crab walk, or trying to roll over toward you, okay? Or singing a song and walking toward you. So they are the things that are determining if a child is walking toward you in a playful way, even if the child is not completely inside the specific certain play. Yeah? The other thing, the other domain is about social spontaneity, that children that are more playful are the ones that are a little flexible. They accept other people's approach. For example, if a child is playing with a house play, making a Lego house play, and another child comes to him and says, let's make the door here instead of here. Let's change the place of the window. Let's change the roof. Let's let's not play this game instead. Let's go do something else. Let's make the house that big that we can fit in it. Okay? So, and the child happily accepts it, happily says, why not? Let's do it. It's a brilliant idea. Instead of a person who said, "Mm, you are going to ruin my play. It takes much longer time. We don't have enough time to play, so mm, it's ridiculous. We don't have enough material to make that big house. Have you ever thought that I was playing and you are just interjecting in my play? You are ruining my order of thought. So if a child has an order of thought, in fact, and that if that child is not flexible upon any suggestion or activity, actually that child is using the function of the pivotal function of play as a kind of self-regulation or as a way of emotional regulation in response to an obsession, to get rid of obsession, to organize the mindset instead of enjoying and having intrinsic motivation or internal locus of control, joyfulness, and freedom from reality. Okay, so here's the thing about social spontaneity, initiating play with other children, that if a child is playfully, no, doesn't feel embarrassed or doesn't feel shy of approaching another child to start a game, play, or willing to share plaything, okay, or plays cooperatively with children, or assumes a leadership role playing with others. So all of these things is about how much a child shows social spontaneity upon playing during playtime. If you are observing a child in a social play situation and you see that the child is flexible, sharing toys, sharing materials, sharing emotion inside the play, or respond to the question or approaches others might have, sometimes give some idea, being initiative about something, so that child is getting good score in playfulness. Next thing is about cognitive spontaneity, that we have two different types of children. The ones who are obliged to do the game or play based on a certain previously set rules, or the ones who make the game rule by their own. I remember that one time I was having a sandwich in a sidewalk back home Iran, and I was listening to two little children who had planned to have a competition to run from one point to point B, and then they decided that whoever reaches faster or earlier, reaches sooner than the other person, the person who is failing, should buy ice cream. It's something like that. It's kind of betting over some competition, and the children decided to run from point A to point B. I was biting, I was having my sandwich and listening to the dialogue. So the girl was much faster than the boy, and the boy had a slipper on feet, so the boy wasn't able to run so fast. So in the meantime that the boy was running halfway, the girl was almost close to the final final destination. All of a sudden, the boy said, "Whoever arrives later is the winner." So that was so fun that whoever arrives later is the winner. Then all of a sudden, the girl who was running to the final point stood stood and wait, said, "What?" And then they both crossed the line at the same time. So they were fighting with each other that anyway we are tied, no matter late or early. no matter, neither of us won the game. I was just having family and say that, okay, if there was a real competition, there would be have one loser, one winner. And most of the time, the regular rule of that game is that whoever arrived earlier is the winner. But that fun thing and the way the girl responded back to the boy, that, okay, so I wait so that you get to the point faster than me, then I will get the ice cream, as a kind of suspension from reality, making the game rule by their own. So it was a fun memory. But just, I'm sure that you can remember many of such events or situations from your own childhood, or when you are dealing with a child. Actually, every single hour of living or taking care of a child is full of such memories. So the other thing is about uses unconventional objects in play. Yeah, at, it's a sign of the child's ability to understand the abstract thinking, as if that mouse can be spray, or can be a gun, or can be a razor, or can be a bee. Ouch! Stinging. Okay? And so, assuming different objects in play, conventional objects, and also assuming different character roles in a play. So, and also being interested in many different kinds of play, kind of activities. It is still, it is again very important. So I have seen many of the children, specifically in the range of ASD, that are very good at certain plays, but they are not flexible and they don't have a wide range or variety of plays. So they are very good at playing, for example, with shapes or alphabet or number or some specific nursery rhyme or some specific Lego work or a Paw Patrol or something, but the range of the activity or play that they enjoy doing are limited. So not only different activities, but also different kinds of activity, different types of activities. If a child is mostly interested in table activity, still it is not satisfactory. If a child is mostly interested in sensory activity, it's not still satisfactory. Different kinds of sensory, gross motor, table tasks, strategy call, uh, even video games. Yes, variety of them, variety of types. And then the other domain is about manifesting joy. Manifesting joy is about expressing enjoyment during play. That a child is playing, and you can see the smile of face, that she's happy, and as if her face is laughing, and you feel that she's demonstrating exuberance or kind of maximum passion and satisfaction, as if her heart is boiling during playtime. She is in heaven and she needs nothing else. She is just in a pure pleasure of playing, and she shares her feeling with you, that she she feels she feels that she doesn't need to change the current situation with anything else. I'm in the right place. I'm free from reality. I have the maximum control internally on the task I'm doing. Okay, so it's a thing. And also showing enthusiasm during play, that I explained it, and also signs and talks when playing, singing and talking, that it's a very, very great sign of joyfulness. Most of the time, children with obsession or children with lack of the variety of play, or children with the fear of failure during competition, or children who are playing play for the self-regulatory purpose of it. Okay, these children are not singing, or mostly with a frown on eye. They are doing strictly a certain way of doing the things, and they are not fidgeting or moving. They are fully concentrating over a specific task with a frown on eye, less singing, less talking during that. So recently, I am playing with a child who started with me about, let's say, 3, 4 months ago. He was playing soccer with me right away. He's playing as well. But the great progress in him is that nowadays, in the meantime that he's playing soccer, sometimes he forget scoring. Sometimes he talking between. Sometimes he gets distracted of playing soccer. Sometimes he doesn't get that nervous if this is a goal. And it's very nice that the child feels the flow of play. He's enjoying dribbling, passing, shooting, kicking, catching the ball, but is not concerned any longer about how many goals you are ahead of me, or what happens if I lose. And with a front and I just want to kick the ball, and every time that I fail, I get angrier. So yes, when that child started playing soccer with me, even though he was very skilled, he was very nervous upon playing. I am not considering those moments of that child's playtime as a kind of playful time. Yes, there wasn't any playfulness in the way she was playing. He was he was only playing to have dominance on me, to have control on me, instead of having control on the play. Instead of having internal locus of control on the play, he wanted to have control on me and dictate the rules to me. So you are seeing the differences now. And lastly, the last domain of activity, which is important in children's playfulness, is about sense of humor, joking with other children, and enjoys joking with other children. Just kind of, let's say, if I am having a kind of small group program and I say that, "Hmm, are you banana?" Out of a sudden, "Are you banana?" And the child might laugh, "Ho, ho, ho, no, 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 I'm orange." So, orange? So, who is banana? Who is banana? Someone else said, "Not me." And the other one said, I'm, I'm poop banana. I'm poop banana. Oh my God, poop banana? If I say it's a dirty word, no, no, no. Friends, we are not going to talk dirty today. In small group, your mom are expecting me to teach you how to be polite. But yeah, forget it. So Puparani, but she just said it once. Okay. I know that silly time sometimes might be spread over that meeting, over that small group program. Maybe the child learns some bad words as well. Actually, the children knew them. Okay, no matter if you teach them or not, the child knew them. The child, every children, every child knows some stuff like this. But the point is that how to regulate themselves to do it in appropriate time of humor time or silly time. 15 minutes silly time? No, 15 minutes is too much. 2 minutes silly time? I put a cap on my head. So for that time, since the silly time is allowed, everyone can do anything, everyone can be fun, everyone can make a joke, everyone can tease, a child slightly teasing the other peers or having fun, yeah? Or everyone might tell funny stories that are not real, everyone might show some interest about other people's story, or even pretending that I'm a clown of today, so I'm going to be today's monkey day, so I'm gonna be fun. So the other thing that I just wanted to mention about sense of humor, that for example, in Iran, we have a person who whom I adore, a kind of actor that whose name is Mehran Gafurian, for example, that if you watch the one of the stand-up comedy that he had, he just look at the camera and say, and then After several times of laughing, so everyone in the stadium were laughing. For what? Did he say a joke? No, the joke is himself. He's clowning. Okay? But just forget that stupid superego that is saying you need to be polite or others won't trust you. You need to be polite or others reject you. You need to be prestigious or others will drop you off from any level of credit or social hierarchy. Okay? Actually, the ones who are taking such advice from the internal superego are the ones who have vulnerable self-esteem. So we are ready to move toward the next video of Mr. Bean at the moment. Get ready. We are gonna play another side of Mr. Bean. But the fact is that I am still struggling with the sound of that video, but still, even this video thing doesn't have any voice at all. So let me play it for you. Believe me, you will love it. So that's one. It's most loveliest, my loveliest scene of Mr. Bean. Okay, so let's get back to the boring theories of playfulness again. I wish I could watch Mr. Bean for some time, but we get back to this part of the task, and I hope that you have enjoyed it that as much as I did. So, but we have reviewed these domains of spontaneity and also joy and sense of humor. So the next slide is about playfulness killer. Playfulness killer. That image, that image that you see is called, I think, the Dementor, something like that. That it's a character in Harry Potter that in Farsi the translation is mentioning Marghar, but yes, Demonitor, something like that. That in Harry Potter's book written by wonderful J.K. Rowling, this character is the one that comes into the life of the person and sucks sucks every happiness, every fun moments, every lovely thing, every sense of pride and humor and laughter, and then the person would feel lonely, helpless, frustrated, meaningless, and then actually no matter if the child stays alive or not, but that child is fully empty. So um, that character, and I'm talking about playfulness killers. Okay, so being worried about one's image. In fact, if a person is too worried about what others judging me, in fact, that person is showing a deal between the more I sound reasonable and serious, the less credit I will lose. And then that deal with the environment, with the social environment. Obsessions. Obsessions and also, yes, obsessions, compulsions. It's the thing that limits the sign of play, the variety of play, also limits the playfulness. Always we are very worried about the orders and organization of the stuff. We are very, very sensitive about any minor change, so we cannot enjoy the play. And then weakness in abstract and metaphorical thinking, not necessarily I'm talking about ASD children, but also even for some adult people that haven't read a book for the past 6, 7 years. So how are you alive at all? How are you alive when you don't read a book? When you don't add up any content to your thought? When you don't add up any abstract thinking, any metaphorical thinking, why aren't you get used to kind of uh, philosophical thought, literature, music, art, some kind of abstract thinking, novels, drama, theater? There are many, many things that can enrich the content and flow of our thought. Okay? And then we just feel that no, I'm too busy to do that. I have some important appointment tomorrow early in the morning, so it's better go to bed earlier. So how about tomorrow? How about tomorrow? How come that you haven't read a book for past 6 years because you have been too busy? Okay, so it's about weakness in abstract and metaphorical thinking. Very, very important. Just imagine that. Can you think in a kind of dramatizing way that what would a mouse say to the pen? If you're about to make a kind of drama between the mouse and pen, what would you say between this? What scenario would you write with them? For example, maybe the mouse says, "Ha ha ha! I am the person who has two meanings." If someone says, "Where is the mouse?" no one understands if this is me or the real mouse. He he he. And the parents say that, hmm, makes sense. But actually, if someone says my name Pen, others might wait to see if I'm going to pronounce it pencil or pen itself. So is it pen or pencil? Others should wait for the whole length of my word to make sure if I'm pen or pencil. He he he. And then the mouse say, ha ha. But you know what? I'm better than you because I can make the sound of a cow. But you can't make a sound of a cow. You can't make a sound of a cow. How can you make a sound of a cow? Look at Mr. So really, really, you made it. Pastor, can you help me make a sound of a cat? Yes, I will. Actually, I can make a sound of a cat as well. Oh, really? Yes, 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 yes. You can make it. So, "Bah, partner, you betrayed me. She might feel me. She might feel that I'm a stupid. Ouch! Why are you entering me into the scenario? So it's a thing that I made out of started by improvisation. It might be very, very ridiculous, stupid, boring, but once you are thinking about what is she doing? I'm here at 7:45, 8:25. I'm spending my valuable time and moments of my life over someone who is telling the story with the mouse and the pen. And no matter, thanks God that pastor hasn't charged us for such nonsense workshop. Huh? But actually, the point is that the persons who are judging such scenario based thing or sense of humor, okay, are the ones that are more afraid of others' judgment if they become silly. So there is a very high risk to be silly because most of the time, 70% of the time, you cannot be silly in a funny way. You can be silly in an awkward way. And then you might feel inferiority or humility, or you are at risk of humiliation or feeling embarrassed of the thing. And maybe right after that I finish up this work, I would say, oh, Pastor, you made a mess. What was that mouse and everything was going well, but you made a very, very icy, icy joke. Okay? But actually, let's stay brave. Let's stay practicing to be silly, no matter of judgments. So, next thing about playfulness killers is that if a person is fully result oriented instead of being process oriented, if the person is fully thinking about the result, in fact, that person has taken a play and changed it into a specific certain model of activity that has some beginning and has some end and should have some outcome. So that person cannot have freedom from reality. That person cannot have flexibility during the time. Yes? Anxiety, depression, and sense of helplessness. It's a very important term. I'm not going to joke with that one, in a regular way at least. Just imagine that a person, or a parent, a mom or dad, who is very worried about the child's future. If my child is going to be independent when he ages, if we are going to have a blissful family later on, once my child learns how to talk, how long will it take for my child to learn A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, E? Okay, so there are the signs of anxiety, depression, and sense of helplessness that narrow our vision. We are prone to narrowed vision because of anxiety, poverty, depression, helplessness. Many of these real things are working like kind of handcuff, handcuff or wrist cuff that captures us in the life and put us down on the ground and say, you are not going to get rid of me. And you want to be playful at the time of being arrested by the life limitation. So when the life gives you the lemon, you should be that artist to make a lemonade with it. Yeah. It's not a kind of just motto. I'm going to reflect back it later on. Okay, so competition. Most of the time, competition is going to add up to the sense of result orientedness and also sense of being worried about image or judgment. So competition is reducing the joy of freedom and also flexibility of the play. Also, some families, attitudes, values, the belief from the family system that a family that everyone in the family has been a doctor and you need to be a doctor or next doctor in the family is you. So okay, if playtime is good for your play development and your the enrichment of your development, I tolerate that playtime, but you just do the playtime to take a break, to get readier to learn chemistry and biology when you're at the age of 6, because achievements are for the ones who are intellectual, and you are gonna be a different you are gonna live in a different layers of human being. So you have a very important mission of life that you are supposed to help others. So let's not waste time too much by being clowning around in the classroom. Don't do stupid things. Oh, who drew it on the wall? Who has made a mustache on my grandma's face? And then the other thing about that, the family system belief attitude, how much you find it funny if your child does some silly thing at home. Okay? Also, unmet physiological and emotional needs. Yeah, it's clear. If a person has unmet needs, in fact, that person stays on survival mode, where you cannot expect a person at survival mode to be as creative and playful, because playfulness most of the time is the surplus of when you feel content and happy and you are not worried about your future and you are not threatened by the life environment, then you might feel, okay, now that I'm not being threatened or I'm not in danger, so yeah, maybe there are lots of more fun things. It's not going to guarantee that you are going to become playful if your all physiological or emotional needs are met. But I can guarantee that if your physiological and emotional needs are not met, it's a much harder way for you to succeed in playfulness. Pressure of essential task or expectation or obligation. Pressure of essential. Yeah, and then actually, we all live in a life or in the environment that we should do many, many obligations, limitations. We should accept many of them. We should follow many rules. And actually, it's called reality. I'm not going to say let's get rid of reality, but do not let reality captures you in a way that you feel you don't have yourself. Yeah? And lastly, vulnerable self esteem. The past one, you don't have yourself, is exact equivalence of vulnerable self esteem. If you don't respect what you are and who you are, it is vulnerable self esteem. So if a person is too worried about others' judgment, has vulnerable self esteem. If a person is really planning to compete with others to find a meaning in life, he is showing vulnerable self-esteem. Yeah. So they are the pair playfulness killers in life. So I'm going to skip them. I'm going to share this thing in the um, I will share the slides along with the YouTube channel so you can take it. So just in a nutshell, once you are playing with your child, try to keep moving and being noisy, try to get distracted sometimes, do some stupid thing, do not stick to some meaningful target of task where you are playing with your child, make sound, play dramatizing way, kind of hold comfortable position, lay on the floor, or comfortable posture. Also, if you are alone, remember, this one is important. When you are alone, try to laugh in front of the mirror when you are alone. Try to laugh in front of the mirror when looking at yourself. Then keep recording your feeling about this activity. You laugh in front of mirror and you say, I'm old. Or looking at the mirror and say, there are some pimples. You are looking at the mirror trying to laugh. Say, what a stupid thing to do. Waste of time. Laughing at the mirror. Oh, my teeth needs to be cleaned. I should take a bit time. I'm dentist appointment. Can you really laugh in front of the mirror when you are alone, when looking at yourself, when no one else is there to judge you at all? And can you have a good feeling when you do this nonsense thing in front of the mirror? Once you can do it, you are closer to playfulness. And last one is kind of very complicated, that sometimes instead of talking in a straight way, try to talk in a very weird language, with different language, indirect language, saying the thing not toward the topic, not toward the point, but don't give up. Keep saying so to see if others are understanding you. It will make lots of funny scenarios and moments for you. So the other things. And the last slide before Q&A is that my actually actually I think that in my whole years of my work experience, Shel Silverstein has a steady place in my heart. I truly believe in this person, and I really appreciate the way he was looking at the life. I strongly suggest all of you to read his book, read his stories. They are wonderful books that teach you how you can get free from reality and experience suspension of reality, and how we can think of the possible other parallel ways of living. That person could be called as the prophet of sense of humor. So, if there is a book you want to read but isn't written yet, write it. So, yeah, I like it. So, thank you very much. It's a Q&A time. Thank you very much for waiting for a longer time. Now it is 8:37. I started at 7:37-ish. So it's almost on time, 1 hour. It was a fun lecture for me, and thank you very much for being with me. So any question, I can stop the recording right now. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.